Okay.
Shrikant, I would be switching the window for the Rafale towards the end. I will flag you directly in the DM.
The stream is on. Please go ahead.
Hi there. Welcome to my talk, Clean Code Recipes, Error Handling. My name is Damir Majer. I'm located in the beautiful Munich, and today I will speak about a topic. It's related to error handling, and it's I call it clean code recipes. It's like really thinking to be a chef, and then okay, what kind of ingredients you like to put, and also what kind of a result you get with those kind of ingredients. And I will look at some typical issues that I see in ABAP, in ABAP Objects, and I will show you a couple of do's and don'ts related to error handling in ABAP Objects. And but before we start with the content, I like a little bit to say about me. So I have a company. The company is supporting clients, yes, to getting better software. So this means to improve the technology excellence, and it's a really specialized company, and we are supporting on the management level. We are supporting on so-called supportive roles like Scrum Master, Product Owner, Test Manager, Requirements Engineer, with this clean code advocate and adapter format. So this means really we try to enable people who are a little bit far away from technology to get some feeling. Okay, how good is our system? How can we improve? How to support a team? Do we use the right approach? Is Scrum the only way to go, or does it mean to do agile something different? And if we look on the level where really the improvement happens, and this is the level here, and also here and here, you see, okay, there are different parts. There is a part, if you like to improve your system for the future, you have to understand the past. So with analytics, with data science, with serious system reviews, code reviews, to get some feeling, okay, what are the main pain points? And understanding the past will enable you to build the present. So really to maybe improve on the software development processes, to integrate some continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Yes, and this is also possible in the SAP ecosystem. So the SAP tech stack is getting more and more modern, and we can do whatever we can imagine, and that's great. But often there are some hurdle in our mind. So we think, okay, nothing changed during the last 2 decades, but today is a completely different situation, and we have to adapt. So if you're doing in an S4 landscape the same stuff that you're doing in a business suite, in a R3, on your RP system, this will fail, because you have to adapt on the methodologies, on the paradigms. You will face huge problems. You will introduce with every minute technical debt, and someone has to someone has also to understand that we on a software developer level have some responsibilities, but also the management. So this changes, because the every company is nowadays a software company, and often this is forgotten. And managing the present will lead to the future. And from my perspective, you have to look at every piece that you produce, and we are supporting on different topics with this. We have a quality-driven approach. If you like to go fast, the only way is to go the quality way. And yes, the talk has clean code in the name. And really the question is, okay, what does this mean, clean code? And this movement started, I think, 12 or 14 years ago, or maybe longer, with this groundbreaking book from Robert C. Martin. He is also known in the community as Uncle Bob. And in this book, he described really what he means with software craftsmanship, what he means with clean code, how you improve your coding, and what is the past. And this is not the only resource on this topic. So we have a couple of themes that are related to clean code. We have clean code for the architecture part. Clean architecture is, for example, the book that also Robert C. Martin has written. We have something that handles the current issues with all of these agile movements. And they are maybe somehow misunderstood, and the main pain point maybe is also here that the processes are only related to the business, and somehow we forgot the excellence, the technical excellence, the technology that provides us much more than only that the things that we are, for example, using. And especially nowadays in a maybe S4 landscape, you really have to get the point. What does it mean to change your paradigm? What intelligent enterprise means, and how you can integrate all the cool stuff that is there. You can do it, but you have to also understand and a little bit to rearrange maybe your processes and your yes, and your path that you're following. And one path should be related to learning. And I like really that we are here in a community setup, and it's really a pleasure to give this talk and the first SAP Online track. But learning is especially related to us software developers. And here I like to show really a small piece, and this piece is related to clean code. And what is clean code? So clean code is something that I have been interested in for a while. Okay, maybe you have heard about me or not. So this is the status quo. I like really to have systems that are on a high quality, because this is the stuff that also our customers needs, that the business needs. And what clean code is difficult. So sometimes it's easier to us to see what isn't clean code than to say this is clean code. So it's something that's difficult to define. It's similar like software architecture. So in software architecture we have 50 definitions, and in clean code it's similar. So every expert you ask on this clean code topic, you will get a different answer, different perspective, and a different mind what really clean code means. And the first part is to understand clean code, to see clean code, and then the difficult part is really to implement clean code, really to change the situation to a better way, to a better perspective. And yes, as I said, this movement with clean code started with this book from Robert C. Martin, and it's not the only book. So maybe you see the shelf behind me. There are approximately 50 books, all related to clean code, and this is the most popular, but it's not the first one. So we have books from the 70s that are really related to high quality software, how to get to them. For example, I remember the book series from Gerald Weinberg, really a high quality book series, and we know a lot what is the right way, but somehow we lost the energy and also the responsibility to build the best possible software. So if we are asking our clients, our customers, okay, do you like to have quality? Every customer will say yeah. So it's ridiculous really to only running for working software. This is not enough, especially if you're working as a professional software developer, software engineer in a software department. You have also a responsibility to build stuff on a higher level. The current situation is like this. We are not forced, but also the great experts there think if this becomes really a problem that you're producing that code, maybe this will be regulated through countries, through laws. So I think it's really a absolute important topic to think about. This topic, what is clean code? And software modules, software applications, software components are intertwined, they are connected together. And this connection is like playing Jenga. If you ignore it at one point, your solution won't work. Maybe it's not only it doesn't work, it will produce maybe technical debts, it will produce huge problems. And the problems are various. It could be only, okay, some feature isn't there, or it could be you planned the marketing campaign or you planned product campaign won't be on time. And this really can harm companies and business hugely. And so everything is connected. Have this in mind. And so professional software development is not a game. It's not like here, then you're starting again to build the bricks and everything is fine. So we are really running business with our software, and our software has to be robust, has to be on a high quality, and of course it should do what the intention was, that that we face with the requirements that we get and we implement it into software. And I like to show you really the perspective where we should look. So for example, if you analyze your systems, this is one tooling from me that I invented. I call it the quality board. And this quality board represents a lot of small pieces. And as you know, everything is connected. One important piece of all our system landscape is the error handling. And yes, there are also other topics that are maybe also related to error handling, and those topics you can measure, you can identify, you can do benchmarks with other systems, maybe with other applications, with other modules. And if you do this, and you should do this, you should treat really your SAP software landscape seriously. It's not a game. And if you do this, maybe at one situation you will face especially those kind of problems that are related with error handling. And what does it mean? Okay, in SAP, especially in ABAP, we have different kinds of error information systems. So one is the first concept, and this first concept is the classical SUSE. And classical SUSE means, okay, you're executing a statement, you're calling something, and then you get a return a value, and then you can identify what is your next step. You have the SUSE from equal 0. This means, okay, the statement executed in a proper way. And then you have a different kind of return values, and there are 4, 8, and 12. And the special stuff in ABAP is that you have to read the help, the ABAP help, how those kind of SUSE return values are related to each other, and it differs from every statement. You have to also read maybe the compound statement, for example, an easy statement like a SQL statement. Okay, what kind of additional variations are you using? What is the meaning really of 4? So the finding is not there, or you face some problematic state. And so this is one kind of error information system. The other one is, and this is the one that nowadays is recommended, is the object-oriented way of handling errors. So I mean here the exception classes, and this is our topic from today. Really to look what is possible, but this is not the end of the story. So if you're using BAPIs, or you're using some gateway API, you're building on it, or web services, you have to really design your error process, your error hierarchy, your error solution. So it's also dependent on the underlying technology that you're using. But today is, yes, it's an easy start, and we will look at error handlings related to classes, and really on the top of the surface. But really to get some feeling that there is more, and there is more. So you can imagine those kind of quality boards are similar like the deep dive in ABAP. So you can navigate further and further and further, and you get really a more detailed perspective. And today, yes, I will show you so five topics, and those kind of topics are related to ignoring some error situation, how to handle them proper, what is the right scope, is there a difference in scoping, and how you manage this. Then an important topic, it's the design. So it's on this abstract level, but it's so important. So if you don't think about software architecture, if you think this is unnecessary, so this means maybe you don't have an architecture, and at the end you're getting the chaos architecture. So every solution has some kind of software architecture, and if you ignoring this at the beginning to design something, to analyze the proper solution, to explore, maybe also in an explorative way, how to evolve the right software architecture, you will getting the system that you deserve. It's always like this. So if you're complaining afterwards, oh, we don't have this, and our architecture is bad, and the time per feature after the project go live increases dramatically, okay, remember my words. So there is a reason. If you ignore stuff, remember everything is connected. If you ignore some main topics, then you will get the system that you deserve. And the last part is testing. And yes, so testing is one of my pet topics. And I will also show you some examples on this. Okay, so this means demo time. I switch to Eclipse now, and we are starting with the first part, ignoring something. So here I have a easy class, really a simple class. There are two methods. First method is run without handling sys upper C. I'm using the console output to demonstrating all the stuff. And then here is some private method. And when we're looking at this first part, we're seeing, okay, here is an internal table from the type string tab. And those internal table is empty. And now we are reading this internal table into a work area. And so here index 1, so the first entry in this table, but this table is empty. And then we are maybe calling something really costly, so some service in outside the world, and we have always to pay when we call this service here. And this could be problematic because, okay, there is no handling of this sys upper C. And here on the right side, we have this good example. So, and this good example is, okay, you maybe see the same methods here again. We have this protected method that at the end executes our part. And now we are checking the sys upper C. It's so easy, but in every system review that I'm doing, I'm finding such kind of situations. So ignoring to check the return value of the statements. Okay, so if you don't handle error situations, then you're maybe going into this path. And there are researchers, they are saying that in 2,000 lines of productive code, there are approximately 1 to 3 errors. And maybe related to data or related to the usage of your software, you never or seldomly face the error situation. But as you can expect, at one moment you will face, and it's not the appropriate moment always when you're facing such kind of error situations. So check the return value, check whatever technology you are using, really how the errors are handled. It's so important. We always go to this happy path as a ABAP developer. Oh, it works like this and that, and we forgot to think about the error situations. And this is so important. So yes, check the sys upper C. And also really one recommendation. It's so trivial, but I see it often. So if you use some statement, read table, then press the ABAP help. Now I'm pressing the F1 button, and here below I'm getting the ABAP help. And then I can look, okay, oh, so I didn't configure it. So I can look at the statements, how the error handling is done, what is the recommendation through the ABAP help. Use it, please. You get the knowledge that you need to use the statements. And ABAP is really a grown language. So it's grown over 35 years, I think. And we have not 2 or 5 statements. I think I have a 751 NetWeaver release. We have thousands, maybe 2,000, approximately near 2,000 statements. And every statement is somehow have a different language architecture. So we are forced really to use the ABAP help and to understand the usage of statements. And the next part is related to exception handling. So here I have a method that is called procedure with exception. I have an importing parameter, some kind of Boolean. And here this method, okay, explains me some exception class will be raised. And this exception class is derived from static check. You see it maybe from the naming. And okay, so now we have the usage of this procedure. The first situation is really, really bad. So we immediately call the procedure without using the proper statements. And here are getting a warning. And this warning means, okay, Damir, the exception is not caught or declared and raising or handled. So there is missing at the end the binding to call this method. And this binding you see here below, it's the try, catch, and try statement. So you need this. And so first bad situation is you ignore it. What kind of exception you have? This is really bad. Ignoring some stuff will lead to problems. The second one is, okay, you get the point. It's a class-based exception. I look at some nice books, or I remember at some explanation, and then you write coding like this. Try, then you call the exception, and this exception is really easy. I show you below. So if the importing parameter is true, then the exception will raised, and then you catch the exception. But what you do? So an error occurred. What to do? Ignoring them is also a bad decision. So sometimes you see in the literature those kind of statements here. Do something, and that's all. So really, those kind of comment means something. It means handle the error that occurred. And here on the right side, I'm showing you the good example how to use it, and a good example looks like this. So we have the same procedures here, like on the bad example, but now we are doing something different, and we are using first of all, we're using the try, catch, and try statement. And also this means I try to call this procedure and this procedure and the next procedure, and in any situation that occur, I handle the class-based exception. So it's my recommendation is to really, in the try statement, place all the sequential procedure calls if you have a design like this, and to call them. And yes, if I execute this, and I execute this over run as console application, and then we have a console application, an exception was raised, as is here the result. So we are getting here an exception, and then we are writing here the exception test. So somehow handle the exceptions. The next part is related to the scope. And yes, it's I think it's related to the scope. So we have the same class as before. Nothing changed. So same issue, somehow is problematic. And then we decide, okay, we have a global class, and this global class should be like an API for the outside. And we like to design the specialized services in form of local helper classes inside this global class. And this leads, for example, to this helper class. So I have a helper class, and this helper class is doing something like this. So I have a class method, a static method. It's also bad, but okay. It's only for demo purposes. So we have a class method, and this class method is called run with easy check, and then we use this and raising inside this method is static check. And what happens here? So use the right scope if you're creating a local component like this local helper class, then use also local exception classes. Yes, this is possible. So sometimes I'm hearing comments like, "Oh, Damir, this is not possible." So it's you can only create exception classes globally with the transaction SE24. No, that's not right. So please, whenever it's possible, work in ADT tools. There are the newer tools. From my perspective, they are better. I'm working faster in the ADT tools. Approximately, I would say I'm 20% faster than compared to the SAP GUI development transaction. The reason is really quite easy. First of all, only in the ADT tools I have the refactoring possibilities, and even nowadays you can extend the refactorings yourself. It's unbelievable how fast you can be inside the ADT, and then ADT is at the end an Eclipse. And Eclipse has a marketplace with thousands of plugins. And there are a couple of plugins there speed me up dramatically. And so give it a try if you never have used ADT tools. Okay, back to the to the example. So we have this example of raising this exception. And okay, so you think doesn't matter, it's a global exception, this is a local class, but okay, somehow, so my feeling for the design gives me some sign. Okay, those kind of components are on a different level. So so maybe also the abstraction level is different. There are some principles that give you some information of this, like single level of abstraction, balanced abstraction principle from Sandro Mancuso, for the people who know those kind of object-oriented principles. So there are some code smells. There is something, it's problematic here. And from my perspective, it's the scope. So if you're having a lot of local helper classes, then also use local exception classes to set this the scoping right. And on the right side, I will show you how this is done. So the same method, and the same method, but with a tiny difference. And the difference you're seeing here is this local race, this local exception class. And you can really, it's so easy. Yes, create a local class, name it however you like. Remember, ZX is the namespace, and then inherit. I'm inheriting here from dynamic check. So there are three types of class-based template classes at the end. It's static check, dynamic check, and no check. Please use static check most often if possible. When it's not possible and you need a little bit additional of features and flexibility, then dynamic check. And from my perspective, I think the no check class template is not necessary. And but okay, it's there. I don't really. I think the no check harms more than it helps, because also there is literature where those kind of classes are misused, misinterpreted. This is the next topic. So now, scoping, local class, local exception class. This feels somehow better. The next example is related to design, and design means on this level. Okay, so I have here a situation, and the exception class is used like a control statement, a control flow, and this is really bad. So if you design proper error handling, exception handling, then have in mind those kind of statements, artifacts, components are related to error. It's not a replacement for a condition or a if-else statement. So, and this is in some literature written, okay, you have technical exception classes and business, and somehow you can, if a business error occurs, mold them around. No, please don't misuse the things. It's the intention is not like a control flow. And I like to show this, and on the right side, so it's really if an exception occurred here, then
you got 5 minutes.
okay, so if an exception occurred, then it's yes, it's at the end like this. Use it in a proper way, and not like in control statements. So you see, I just get rid of this coding that you see on the left side. And our last topic is you have some design with exception classes, but you have no test classes. The goal is not only clean code, the goal is to write testable code, and you can test exceptions. And here on the right side, I'm showing you how you test exceptions. And even if you like to test some private method, oh, it's bad to test private method, yes, but it's versus to no test anything. It's difficult. Yes, testing is difficult. Writing good code is difficult, but you have to create the safety net. It's better that we test our coding than the customers. So if you have some private method, and here the recommendation is using this local friends, then test this. And if I test this this solution at the end, or this part, then I can integrate this in automation in different parts of where ABAP unit is involved. So also think about the testing part, think about testing seriously. So again, the goal is writing testable code, not only writing working software. So this means we reached the end of this talk, and yes, I have to say thank you. If you like some support, like to get in the communication with me, yes, contact me. My company site is here on this slide. And now I think we have a couple of minutes for answering some questions. So are there questions?
Give me a second, Damir. I'm just looking at them. I haven't found any questions so far. Doing it refresh.
So
Nope.
no questions. So if you have some questions, yes, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @MageCon, and then ask me whatever you like to know about this small, tiny topic of error handling related to class-based exceptions. So thanks, and yes.
Damir, we have, I think, 20 participants today. So we have a raffle. So we pick a winner from that.
Yes.
And I would like you to announce the name. Just give a couple of spins. I'm just not sharing my desktop just because it's too close to finishing the stream. I think it's Clara.
So we have a winner.
Yes.
And the winner is Clara.
Clara Diana, yeah, that's right. And we'll reach out to her or him to see how they can claim their prize.
Okay. So yes, I'm not sure. So there is a winner. It's Clara.
Diana.
Clara Diana, something like this, and you have won a prize. And I have to ask how this prize will be.
I will reach out to them to find their details, and we'll tell them how to claim their prize. Yeah.
Okay, so Clara, congratulations. Someone will contact you. And yes, for the attendees, have fun. There are still some hours to go with the SAP online track. It was a pleasure. And as usual, till the next time. See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.